Am I the a-hole for ignoring my dad's birthday and not getting him a gift? Ever since I, 16 male, was a little kid, I got my dad a birthday gift with the help of my surrogate grandparents. My mom died when I was 2, so it was me and dad for a lot of years. Dad and I used to be really close. Then when I was 10, he met Jen and he met her kids who were 18 months and 3 years old at the time. Dad and Jen fell in love pretty fast and they moved in together a few months after they met. Jen was divorced and her kids' dad wasn't around. So my dad decided he needed to step up and be a good dad to them. He told me things would change, but I was still his son and he'd make time for me. But ever since he decided Jen's kids were going to be his, he let me down a lot. It started with us having plans and him having to cancel because one of the kids was sick. Then it was they had a play or a game he needed to be there for. Or it was they had decided to have one of the kids' birthday parties early and dad needed to be there. But he wasn't doing the same for me. When I got sick, he'd send me to my grandparents or expect me to stay with Jen while he did something with Jen's kids. If I had something on, he'd apologize for missing it and would say he had plans with Jen's kids. Oh, and the big thing that pisses me off is for the last 6 years, almost, he gives Jen's kids credit and thanks them too when I buy him a gift. Even when I tell him it's from only me. He talks about it being teamwork to get him that. I tried talking to Dad. He admitted he let me down. He told me he was afraid of Jen's kids feeling rejected if he were to cancel with them for me. That he didn't want them to feel like he loved me more when all 3 of us are equal. I told him he cares more about them and he asked how I could say that after 10 years of having all his attention. He asked me to think about the kids whose bio dad walked out on them and who could feel really unwanted if he were to let them down. I told him I didn't care about them or their feelings or whether they feel loved and wanted. I told him I don't feel loved and wanted. I feel resentful of the fact he gives them credit for my gifts, he cancels on me for them, but won't give the same back. He told me he can't change it, but he can try to let me down less. I told him he was putting them ahead of me and I told him I was done. He can enjoy having 2 kids instead of 3. He didn't think I would actually follow through. This big talk happened back in April. Dad's birthday was yesterday and I didn't join in on any of the celebrations and I got him nothing. I didn't even say happy birthday. I knew they were going out for the day, but I didn't go and I knew ahead of time. When they got home, Dad was upset because I was on the couch playing video games. He told me he'd missed me. Jen told me I had really hurt my dad and was behaving like a child instead of a 16-year-old. Am I the a-hole?
Not the a-hole. It is sorta petty, but you tried with grown-up talk and it didn't work out. It was a powerful move to show him how he makes you feel all the time. It's okay to accept stepkids, as he should, but he obviously put them ahead of you. Soon you will be old enough to move out and forget about all of them.
It wasn't our first talk either, but it was the first one where I tried to be mature and express how I felt and what things bothered me specifically. It ended up going badly in the end. But I tried. I know I tried. And he still couldn't assure me or make it seem like he actually cared. He took me for granted.
And you did act like a grown-up, so they cannot say you're acting like a child. You tried everything you could and nothing changed, so really you don't have any obligation to that family, but I understand you must stay there with them until you're old enough to move out and live on your own.
Not the a-hole. Jen told me I was behaving like a child. You are a child. One that's been abandoned by his father, despite the fact you live in the same home as him. You've done all that you can to communicate your hurt to him. Now it's time to protect your heart. He may come back to you soon and promise change. Believe only his actions. I'd actually recommend you get therapy for yourself. You've been through a lot, losing your mother and then being emotionally abandoned by your father, and you will need help to process this.
Yes. He's still a boy who needs his dad. He lost his mom, and he has to watch his dad step up for these kids whose dad is a deadbeat, but what does he get back? Does Jen prioritize him? No, he just gets a deadbeat dad. He was so mature to try and talk calmly with Dad, but Dad blew him off.
People forget that teens look like baby adults, but they are not. That is a child.
Not the a-hole. It's kind of ironic how he became a hero dad to his stepchildren, but an a-dad to you. That's just not how it works. He might save the other kids, but he became an absent father to yours, and for the stepmom to meddle by telling you you're acting like a child, she has no right to say so, and she should have just let the two of you talk.
That's actually a good point. Is it worse to have your dad walk out or have an absent dad in the same home day in day out who is making extra effort with other kids? At least there is understanding to the kids in the first situation.
Am I the a-hole for not letting my half-sister have a necklace that used to be my mom's? My mom died when I, 17 female, was 5. In her will she left me all her jewelry. One of the things she left was a necklace she always wore. It's one of the few things I remember her wearing, and it's in almost every photo of her. It's pretty big and not very expensive, but it was something she treasured that she got when she was a kid. It stands out. Of all the stuff Mom left me, it's the one thing I could never bring myself to wear. I love looking at it, but it's hers. It makes me think of her more than anything else, and I just find it wrong to think about wearing it. And it's not something that could be repurposed. So I keep it safe and have this special little necklace holder especially for that. My half-sister, 8, has seen the necklace a bunch, and she's asked me for it so many times. She thinks it's pretty, and she likes that I love it so much. I told her it was my mom's and she couldn't have it, and I offered her something of mine that wasn't mom's before, but she wanted that one. I had to put the necklace higher up so she couldn't come into my room and take it, but it's still visible. My dad asked why it was so high up, and I told him. He told me I could just keep telling her no. I told him she could still come and take it, and I don't want to get mad at her if she does, because I would be furious. He told me it was overkill. My grandpa, his dad, told him to imagine my half-brother taking his watch that great-grandpa left him and maybe breaking it or worse. So my dad talked to my half-sister. She asked some more times, and I got her a necklace that was like it, but wasn't my mom's. She liked it, but cried when she realized that was meant to be in place of it. She told me she really wants that one, and can't I let her have it since I never wear it. My stepmom and dad ended up getting mad at me because this whole thing made her cry. My stepmom told me I value a necklace more than a person, and she can't figure it out. She said my sister would take good care of it, and it's not valuable. It's also a way I could show so much love with my sister by sharing a piece of mom with her. She said I always draw a line between mom and my siblings, and it seems so cruel. Dad told me it's okay to let both worlds collide, and I don't need to treat her stuff like each item is sacred. He said that necklace was her favorite, but if I can't wear it, I should let it go to someone who wants to. He told me if I plan to keep it for the future and let my own kids wear it one day, it would really hurt my half-sister. I didn't give in after that, and my grandpa ended up getting involved again, and he took my side. But I think that made my stepmom's anger worse. Am I the a-hole?
Not the a-hole. Your stepmom hasn't got the slightest clue what actual value is. It is valuable, and you should keep it safe. An 8-year-old can't really be trusted to keep something of such sentimental value safe, and both your stepmom and dad should maybe consider teaching your half-sister about boundaries and that you can't just have everything you want because you throw a tantrum. Given your age, I would explain to your dad how you feel and ask to put a lock on your door so you can feel your personal space and things are protected. Your stepmom is the a-hole in this scenario to me, both for not respecting your boundaries, but by also pushing your dad to not respect them as well. Ask your dad why he feels it's okay to upset you to keep your half-sister from getting upset over something she has no claim to. Edit to add, since you don't plan on wearing it, could you maybe get it installed in a shadow box type frame and hang it on your wall? Maybe that would send a message while also keeping it out of reach from both your sister and stepmother. Storing it at grandpa's house is an option that can open you up to complications in the event of his death if you are not his beneficiary. If you want to remove it from your home, the best choice would be a safety deposit box in your name only at your bank OP.
She doesn't care about the sentimental value. She sees that it's not worth much money and thinks I should be willing to share it for that reason alone. Not to mention, she sees it as a tug of war on who I love more, my half-sister or my mom. It doesn't help my half-sister see why she can't have it. Maybe it's making her feel more like she should have it. I'm looking into some ideas now to see if I can keep it any safer, but still keep it nearby.
I would hide it somewhere outside of the house or wear it and never take it off. There is a 100% chance it goes missing.
That necklace holds tremendous emotional value to you. It's not at all unreasonable of you to want to keep it, particularly when the person who's asking for it is 8. In no scenario does giving that necklace to an 8-year play out well for the necklace. It's unfortunate that your dad doesn't seem to realize how much it means to you, or that it's yours and it's okay for you to keep it and not wear it because it's so important to you. It's also a way I could show so much love with my sister by sharing a piece of mom with her. This is emotional blackmail. Hold on to your keepsake and spend more time with your grandfather, who's the only one who seems to have any emotional capacity and depth. Not the a-hole.
The blackmail part made me so angry. She'd take such good care of it, she is 8. They notoriously take such good care of nothing. OP, do not give in. You've tried to be really kind and patient and even got something similar for your half-sister. I would ask your grandpa to help you protect it because I am very afraid stepmom or dad will just give the necklace to your sister when you're away somewhere.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing. I would definitely let the grandfather because the next step for them is going to be coming into her room and just taking it. One way or another, if it stays in that house, it's going to get gone.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos.